Hey everyone, my name is SeanArnold, and today I wanted to make a comparison video between Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist and Yugioh DevPro, and kind of just share my experience on transitioning from one software to the other. I'm still playing both games quite frequently, and but I wanted to share the journey that I've kind of gone through over the past week or so, and getting used to using DevPro. For those who aren't aware, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist is a software on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It is a very popular software. It's done quite well for itself as an online platform released officially by Konami for Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans to play against each other across the world. However, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist is not continuously updated. The game won't be updated until the winter. Well, we don't have a confirmed date just yet, but sometime in the winter they say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist will receive an update. And it was a big shame. It was a big disappointment to many people like myself, because we figured that this would be the one platform where they would continuously keep updating it, releasing new cards, and making it their equivalent to the free software and browser versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! That are out there. However, it wasn't to be. And what this means is that the game eventually does get stale. It does die over time. Yeah, I still see new people playing it. I still see new people picking it up and trying out different things. I still run into different types of decks, and the 2015 environment used by Legacy of the Duelist is quite a balanced environment where there are some very, very powerful strategies in that game. However, there are more mid-tier strategies which can kind of compete with the most powerful strategies, as long as they're not too much of a power gap. And then it comes down to player skill in between the two players to kind of figure out how to outsmart each other. I've loved playing Legacy of the Duelist. I really, really do love playing it. However, I've been running into many issues lately, and one is to do with connectivity. I can't tell the difference between bad connections and rage quitters these days. I get people sending me messages on PlayStation 4 saying, "Hey, wanna play?" And I play against them and we just get disconnected randomly. I have no idea why this is. It happens on no other piece of software that I use on my PlayStation 4, and really no other software that I use on my PC either. So I have no idea what's going on with the network stability and functionality of Legacy of the Duelist. And that kind of prompted me to kind of move on to DevPro. I needed something a bit more reliable, and I also wanted to start using the newer cards. Tons of new cards are coming out. The new set, I've I've forgotten it now. I think it's called Breakers of Shadow. The new set coming out is really, really interesting, especially with the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon support. And I've got people talking to me about it all the time. Different people making decks in real life saying, "Hey, yo, check this out." And I'm like, I don't know whether it's good or not, because I'm not familiar with the current environment, because I'm still playing the 2015 environment. So that's kind of what wanted me to move into DevPro, because DevPro, as opposed to Dueling Network, is an automated system that has similar features as Legacy of the Duelist, where kind of the game mechanics are all managed by the system itself. However, it's still got many options in terms of deck building, and overall it's pretty damn good. Talking about DevPro, let's start off with what my experience was. Setting up DevPro was really easy. It was really quite quick and painless to do. And building cards, it took a little while to get used to the deck editor, but building the deck in that game is really fast and really quite quick to do. And I do like the option of having all my cards available at the start. However, playing in the DevPro environment is not easy. It is the hardest version of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever played. It uses that name Pro well, because I honestly think that is a game strictly for professionals. You can be a new person and play it and get used to it like myself, but I honestly think that is the hardest version of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever played. Not only is this format incredibly difficult, because all the tier 1 or tier 0 decks kind of win in like 2 turns or so, and they will do, you'll be fighting a player and they'll do like 10 moves in a row, and you have no idea what's going on, because the game is so quick and fast paced that it flies through the cards and doesn't really give you a chance to read them unless you press the A button to stop that. And it took me a long time to get used to it. I actually found it really hard. I wasn't able to keep up with so many of these decks. What a difference a year can make, really. It's just surprising. There are so many new archetypes out there. One which I'm really not familiar with is Raid Raptors, but there's still many more. and playing against them has been really challenging because I don't know what my opponent's doing. He kind of just flies through all the moves. You know, have you ever seen someone, say, shuffling a pack of cards, and you see someone doing it really slowly and someone doing it really quickly, and it looks like they're doing magic with their hands? That's kind of what playing DevPro was like to me. It was like I'm someone who shuffles really slowly and drops a couple of cards on the floor, makes some mistakes, but other people are just flying through moves and bap, and I have no idea to keep up. So I needed to take some time to kind of stop and actually just learn how to play this game. I need to learn how to play the meta, I need to learn these new cards that I don't know, and I still feel quite uncomfortable with my knowledge of the current meta, but I do feel a bit better after playing the game for about 40 hours or so. Like, I was just grinding it out, I was just going in and in, just trying to learn, getting my ass kicked all the time, just trying to learn what the heck is going on, how can I make sense of this. But it's been a fun experience. I'm actually really enjoying DevPro. It's very different to Legacy of the Duelist, and very enjoyable. I do to reiterate my earlier opinion though, I do think it is a bit difficult for people who might be new to the game. I'm not saying that DevPro is the answer for newer players, and personally I wouldn't really recommend newer players to start playing DevPro, even though it is a fantastic and amazing piece of software. DevPro is just, you're jumping into the deep end if you're going to play DevPro. So much so that when trying to make videos on Yugioh DevPro, it was really hard for me just to commentate over what was going on, because it is so fast paced and so much is going on at one time. It's really hard to just keep it up, and you kind of have to know what your opponent's going to do before you even see them do it, because otherwise they're going to just confuse you. I think Legacy of the Duelist is still the better option for newer players and people who want more of a casual experience, despite the fact that it is having all these connectivity issues. I also do like the interface on Legacy of the Duelist a bit more than DevPro. I do like the high resolution screens, I do like the high resolution images on the cards, and I just like the way the game is presented on Legacy of the Duelist more. I prefer using the deck editor on Legacy of the Duelist and seeing things such as recommended cards which kind of link to the cards you're using. But I do like the convenience of DevPro, how quick it is, how accessible it is, and how many people, there are so many people playing DevPro. I always run into a match really quickly, I don't have to sit around and wait for a very long time. But yeah, DevPro hasn't been easy. It's been really fun though. Been really enjoying doing it. Really enjoy playing DevPro so far. As a person that makes video content on Yugioh, I've had to change a lot of what I have wanted to do in terms of commentary. Typically, what I would do on my Legacy of the Duelist account is I will play a match if I think it's good, save it, upload it, narrate over it, tidy it up a bit, and then publish it, and off I go. It's probably not a straightforward process as I'm making it out to be, but it's something which I got very used to and very comfortable in doing. That does not work for DevPro. It really does not work for that. DevPro has a replay system, and the replay system is actually quite unique. It's not actually capturing footage of what you're doing, it's more like just having a log of your game, and then you hit a replay button and the computer just goes through the log of the moves that were made, and it does it at a blinding pace, so fast that when I actually go to put it in my video editor, I have to actually slow it down a bit so that I can actually talk over it. Because of this, I've had to change the way I do my episodes. They are going to be taking a lot longer to make, unless I start recording it using different software myself. I actually might have to try that, and that might actually have to be the solution, but still figuring things out there. But what I would expect, for anyone who is a fan of what I normally do, is expect commentary to be much faster paced, expect to see a lot of things happening, but for me not to be able to explain exactly every single move, partly because I don't know what every single move is, but also because it's also just such a quick paced game. And but hopefully people enjoy it. I really do hope that people like what they see for that and want to see more of me playing DevPro. If not, I'll just do more Legacy of the Duelist stuff. But at the moment, I'm liking having kind of the best of both worlds and playing both side by side. I am a little concerned about when Legacy of the Duelist gets updated. Like I said, the current format is people win in about 2 turns or so, but in those 2 turns or so, they're doing about like 10 different moves, and I almost feel like DevPro's fast pace suits the current format better than, say, Legacy of the Duelist, because it's so quick, and even though your opponent's doing a lot of moves, you're not sitting around for 5 minutes as they do all their crazy stuff. Whereas in Legacy of the Duelist, it is much slower than that, and playing against, say, a Monarch deck or a Cosmos deck or a Raid Raptors deck that does so many different moves on Legacy of the Duelist would take forever. Like, I would say, to make it as a comparison, I would say a 10-minute duel in Legacy of the Duelist is reduced to about 3 minutes in DevPro because it's so quick paced. That's kind of like the ratio there, if anyone wants a number. Anyway, that's kind of my experience of DevPro versus Legacy of the Duelist, just me prattling on. I thought I would share my experience with you guys on that if you would find it interesting at all. Overall, they're both really, really good pieces of software, and I hope to be producing video content for people to enjoy over the next, over the foreseeable future, really. Thank you for tuning into this video, guys, much appreciated, and have a nice day.